All right, everyone, welcome to episode 52 of the Dunk Dynasty Podcast. We are back. We are live. We're in action. We're in the flesh. It's been a long time without us, but we're here to provide you guys all the knowledge and all the stuff, all the news to do with basketball, not just the NBA now, since everyone's, been saying it's not just NBA. Now, it's all about all basketball, all things basketball here with not Trigger Trey. We're with the Terminator, Jed Mitchell. And then also we've got Eddie Mack, Ethan McDonald, and then myself, Panache Nyashanu. How are things going, guys? It's been a long time. Hopefully you guys are enjoying life. How's things?
Yeah, mate, just living it up, We're, up to our eyeballs in work, busy as day in, day out, mate. But we're finding time to get on, talk to the fans, and chat a bit of shit about some basketball. Or not shit, whatever it is that we need to talk about.
Real quick, first of all, to the fans, if you're new here, make sure that you leave us a little comment, you review us, give us a like if you're watching on, not watching, if you're listening on Apple Music, Spotify, all the good stuff. Make sure you leave us a review and make sure you go to social media as well. Follow us on TikTok. We're nearly at 300 subscribers, followers. So make sure you do that as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Then also make sure to follow us on Instagram. Journey to 1,000 followers. We're getting close. So make sure you do that and make sure you recommend the podcast to your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone you know that does love basketball. But with that being said, guys, let us rock and roll. Let's get into the good stuff. NBA. Julius Randle. We talked a lot about Julius Randle last season, which was because the Knicks didn't have him in the playoffs. And now he's being talked about because apparently he's got a contract that's extraordinarily tradable. And obviously, we look at that team, the Nova Knicks, and then you've got Julius Randle and OG. Pretty good team there. Now, obviously, we didn't get to see them with Julius Randle. We get to see them with Julius Randle start the season, but if things don't go well, is that going to be a player that doesn't actually end up finishing the season in New York?
Oh, this contract's extremely tradable. When I first heard that, I was like, they're crazy. There's no way they can trade Julius Randle. And then you look at it. It is in that 26 to 30 mark, and he's going to be an unrestricted free agent when he's 32. Like, that's not bad. Like, he's still going to have good years left for the whole entirety of this contract. His play style is where it gets a little bit untradeable. For a guy of his talent, though, to be getting paid 26 to 30 million each year across the course of this contract, it's a tradable contract. In the current NBA, you need guys with contracts to make big trades and make big splashes. I initially was against this, but yeah, this contract's extremely tradable, and the Knicks should be very happy with the position that they're in right now.
I think the Knicks showed as well that it's tradable because they're so good without him. I mean, we spoke a lot of stuff, mainly you, a lot of shit about him last year, Panache. And I think it was kind of evident that they actually do perform without him. I mean, he's going to add a layer to them defensively and offensively. That's something they may need, may not need, and we'll find out obviously in the first weeks to months of the NBA once it starts. But yeah, as Jed just said, extremely tradable contract. Lots of players out there that they can fill their roster with by trading him, picks, all of the above. And I think the Knicks have done, as you said, a great job with this contract.
My belief was always Julius Randle, no way he sees out the season, the 2024-25 season, that is, with the Knicks. And then, because I thought for sure, if they got Mikal Bridges, the only way that the Nets would agree to that deal was if they got Julius Randle in there, and then you add in some other players from the Nets side, then you make the deal. Obviously, that was not the case. They got picks, and now they got Mikal Bridges. But Julius Randle, man, the best judge of the future is the past. We've seen this guy in the playoffs. I feel like we've seen this movie multiple times with Julius Randle in the playoffs. Obviously, they didn't have a team that stacked, this stacked as they are now when they had that, but still, we saw what he did in the playoffs. It was not a style that's conducive to winning. The way he plays, I still don't believe it's a style that's conducive to winning because he's a ball-dominant guy. He shoots the three well. He's improved, but, I mean, we saw what Jalen Brunson did as the number one guy. That's the guy who I want as my number one. My number two guy, now it becomes, do we need him? Do we not? Yeah, I don't know. If things don't go as well as everyone's sort of looking at the service right now. We're like, man, that team is stacked. Look at the wing players they got. They got Mikal, they got OG, then they've got Dante, they've got Josh Hart. If things don't go well to start the season and it's because Julius Randle's not playing well, then you start to see, okay, he's going to be traded. But who do you trade him to? Because the only player I was looking at was Larry Markkinen. You're not getting Larry Markkinen this season, are you? The only time you can get him is next season. So I've actually had to flip the script and say that Julius Randle will finish the season with the Knicks. Will they make it to the finals? No, I still don't believe they will. I don't even think they'll make it to the conference finals. Still.
The question was like, is Julius Randle tradable? 100% yes. Is there enough out there that the Knicks would trade him? That's probably not. I think the Knicks are so caught up in the trajectory they're in at the moment where they're like, we love all our guys. Our guys are amazing. They rate their guys heavily because of how far the Knicks have come as a franchise. So I think there's probably just going to be a misalignment between what the Knicks think he's worth and what the rest of the market thinks he was worth. But there could be a situation where, geez, they've got no centre and they want to go get a guy who plays centre and they might have to overpay with Randle. And that could be a situation where he gets traded. But, if they don't bring down their asking price, I wouldn't see him being traded at all. But to answer the initial question, 100% tradable.
One thing I'd like to say. Oh, no, go on.
Yeah, just what you said there, Jed, if there's a centre that they need and they want to trade for him. We've mentioned it before, but in Cleveland, Jared Allen.
Oh, this guy took my whole life.
Come on. Oh, were you going to say that too? Were you about to say that?
Yeah, I was going to say that too, yeah.
Oh, bro, but see, say wavelength, but that's it. Jared Allen and Julius Randle trade is probably something that could be in the works, could happen. I mean, tell me we all wouldn't love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I reckon that'd be perfect. I reckon that'd be perfect. Take him back to New York.
That's a good deal. I actually don't. That's a really good deal because you think about it. You go on the Cleveland side. That's a deal that you love because you got Mobley and Randle, which you can go smaller and put Mobley at the 5. Then for the Knicks, you get a big upgrade at center because what's his name? Mitchell Robinson is good, but getting Jared Allen over Mitchell Robinson, that's a massive upgrade. And plus, if you're the Knicks are probably built the best team right now to combat all the different styles that you go up against in the East. Even with Julius Randle there, I know offensively that's where I think he causes the havoc. But yeah, if they got Julius Randle for Jared Allen, that's a deal and a half. But give me the Knicks overall as your thoughts on the Knicks. What's your thinking for them going into this season? Because I know we've got the Nova Knicks, you've got OG, you've got Julius Randle as well. Then the bench, I mean, the rest of the guys that round that like the squad is what Mitchell Robinson, Precious is coming back now as well. That's a pretty good team. I think Bogdanovic is coming back as well. So there's probably a high degree of expectation, especially coming off last season. Where do you think is actually for them realistically? Where do you actually see them going and where do you think the expectation is for them as well?
I think they could push the Celtics in the conference finals. I think they're just built so well. And I think no matter what series they're going to be in, they're going to be competitive no matter who they're playing against. They're going to be able to, you've got players, the teams that go the best are the teams that can elevate in the playoffs. And I think the Knicks have kind of got that grit and grind mentality where they can play good in the playoffs. They've got players like Jalen Brunson who can score and he's creative. And then you've got your hustle guys like Josh Hart and the whole Villanova culture that there lends itself to success as well. So I would see them in the conference finals.
Yeah, I like your point there, Jed. I just hope that I think the Knicks can be in the conference finals, can be, and I think they probably will be. But at the same time, I also think that I don't they may get too big for their britches, kind of thing. There's potential with the players in that team, and potential. There's 2 guys at least that want to be number 1. There's also Bridges who and then there's OG. There's lots of players that can and have the ability to be number 1, number 2 guys. And so is it going to be potentially going to cause conflict? Is it going to get too big with egos? All of that, you never know. The team might be going well, but it might be falling apart inside. And I guess that's something we're never going to know. But you just kind of hope that the Knicks just keep it on the court and actually just show up the conference finals. So I think they're going to put the most pressure on lots of teams. I mean, Philly and Boston are the 2 that I reckon will put the most pressure on them. But I mean, who knows?
I'm saying 10 toes down. 10 toes down on Orlando to be in the conference finals against the Celtics. So I don't think the Knicks are making the conference finals. All due respect to them.
With Mac McClung scoring points. Do you see that Orlando Magic signed him today?
Hey, listen, all the Orlando Magic needed was just, I don't know. Yeah, they don't need that guy. They needed shooters, and they got the shooter that they needed. Shout out KCP.
To be fair though, last year's team that won the championship had a dunk competition winner.
There you go. And he got it. What was that the one? Was that the one who got it for? No, he didn't. The Celtics. Did Jaylen Brown not win it with the left-handed dunk? No, he didn't. He didn't. But it sounded good. They had someone in the. They had someone in the dunk contest. So the Magic are doing it the right way. And the year before, the Nuggets won it and they had Aaron Gordon. So maybe it is actually a trend. You need someone who participated in the dunk contest and did somewhat well for your team to be successful. So the Magic.
I just figured out Rob Pelinka, get on the phone, get Zach LaVine.
Oh, now we're talking.
No, let's escape from that because there's the one thing I do not want to talk about. Any kind of Zach LaVine Laker rumor. It just,
bypass
misery and misfortune. That's all I think of. Misery and misfortune.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, nothing good's going to come out of that. So I want to skip by LA as well because I think a lot of people have been saying we talk about these mainstream teams too much. So we'll skip right by it and let's move on to go to our next one, which is going into the 2024-25 NBA season. Looking at the teams. Which team do you think will disappoint their fan base the most and won't live up to expectations? We'll start with you, Ethan.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was really prepared to start. I just wanted to get in there before Jed, so the team that I think will I think they'll still probably end up making the play-in, but I think that'll be them and done, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think we saw a little bit of it last year where Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, they just don't work together. They can win games here and there, but when one of them's out or two of them are out or whatever, they go a lot better. I just think the Cavaliers have got too many players that want the ball in their hands, too many number ones, too many egos, and in a city and in a team it's just not working for them. And I think they're going to let their fans down. And I think Donovan Mitchell's going to request a trade, or the Cavs are going to trade Jared Allen or something like that. I just don't see it working for the Cavs this year. I think they'll be bottom of the ladder, 10th or 11th, I reckon.
Wow, 10th or 11th. I don't know if they're dipping down that far.
They'll be, I think, maybe 9th. They'll be in the play-in, I think, but I reckon that I just don't see it for the Cavs this year. Eh?
That would be a disappointment though for the fan base. They would go into overdrive of And I wouldn't show up to work the next day if I had a team as stacked as the Cavs. And to be fair, the coach won't show up for work the next day because he'd be fired.
I think they're not winning a championship, but I think they're firmly in the playoffs. I think they're like a 5th or 6th seed, like 4th, 5th, 6th is where they'll hang about. But championship, no way, no chance. And given what they gave the new contract to Mitchell and then also Allen. So it's, you've got all these guys here. Then you've also got Garland that you're paying. You've got Mobley that you're paying. All these guys that are on contract, and you didn't do anything. All like last season, obviously injuries, we know. But what happened the season before against the Knicks when they got clapped? Nothing good comes out of keeping this squad together, in my opinion, as well. So I agree in that sense, that Cleveland has always been disappointed when LeBron isn't there. So I think the trend will continue.
Yeah, and it's not going to finish 5th or 6th, mate. They're going to be 9th or 10th or 11th. I honestly don't see it with the Cavs. East has got stronger over the offseason, and I don't see the Cavs coming up to the top 6.
Okay, let's think about this. So you got the Celtics, you got the Knicks, you got the 76ers, right? You've got the Magic, and then you've got the Bucks. And then you've got now the rest of it is sort of kind of open because you've got the Heat, you've got the Cavs. Who else am I missing in there? The Heat, the Cavs, and all these another team that I keep forgetting about in there that are probably going to be in that 5th, 6th, 7th race. And I think the Cavs can probably win that purely because we know Jimmy Butler gets hurt every single season. So that's when, if the Cavs can keep everyone good and healthy like they usually do, and that's the thing with the Cavs, if Garland goes down injured, you still have Donovan Mitchell there. If Mitchell goes down injured, you still have Garland there, and you still have a pretty good squad that can get you wins, keep on going, get you wins.
I mean, yeah. As I said before, like when they're separated and there's like one star on the team, then they go good because the star takes control. When they're all playing, they overtake each other and they just crowd each other. And I feel like that's what's going to happen because I mean, at some point in your career and when you're playing as a team, you're not going to all get injured like at the same time like they have been, or they're not going to be missing players for as many weeks as they have been. I just have this feeling with the Cavs this year, it's just not going to work.
To be fair, I think they're going to be a disappointment, but I don't think that they're going to be that much of a disappointment. I reckon even a second round exit for the Cavs this year, that would be a disappointment. Like this team's been together for a while, they've got good talent. I think that would be a disappointment. I reckon first round exit, but saying to not make it into the playoffs, I reckon that's a bit crazy. But you know, each their own.
They'll be in the play-in.
Yeah, but like you're saying, in the play-in lose or in the play-in win.
Oh, but who knows what happens in the play-in, mate? That's rigged anyway.
One game elimination. My team is actually a team that made the conference finals in the West last season, and it's not the one that made the finals. It's the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are not going to live up to expectation this season. I think there's got to be a lot because you made the conference finals, you beat the Nuggets in that game 7 when you were down by 20, you came back, but I look at their offseason and I go, listen, Mike Conley's 37 years old. You got Rob Dillingham, you know, odd Robert, but Bobby, this is his rookie year. He's not going to be a contributor straight away, right? And you lost Kyle Anderson, you lost Monte Morris. You had Joe Ingles, and he's 37 as well. Nothing about that team screams to me, we improved and we're about to go back to the conference finals. Like the Mavs, you lost Derrick Jones Jr., but you got Klay Thompson. So you can actually see some sort of, you know, improvement or staying at that level. This team, like, you can't bring back the same team in the NBA when other teams are getting better and say, oh, yeah, we can compete again. No, that's not how it works. You have to improve some way or somehow. And we saw what happened in the playoffs. And this year, you're not surprising anyone. Same thing as, like, OKC improved. We know that they've surprised people, but they'll surprise again because they got better. The Timberwolves, last season, you surprised everyone. This season, everyone knows you're coming. And also, everyone else, some of these other teams have gone better. Then the Grizzlies, for example, are bringing back Ja. So I look at their team and I go, are you guys really going to make it to the conference finals again? Probably not, because now everyone's going to take Rudy Gobert in the playoffs, and your DPOY is going to become a big defensive liability.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well. I think the one thing about the Timberwolves, though, is the expectations are so high. I would say they're probably going to finish where they should, talent-wise, but the expectations are well above where the talent level is.
Yeah.
There is every possibility Ant can take a huge step, but with the way that Rudy Gobert is probably going to regress and the way the rest of the roster is shaped, I don't think that jump will be enough to overcome those shortcomings. And then when you have a really crazy finish like you did last year, it also just sets yourself up for those high expectations. Like if you think back to the Sacramento Kings when they had their really first their year where they overachieved and they took a step back last year, it kind of shook everyone's like, oh Jesus, what's going on? But they actually won the exact same amount of games. So like it's all about expectations.
Yeah, it's just that everyone else gets better around you, and that's what happens, especially when you're in the West. Everyone gets better, and this Wolves team, I know there's a lot of players. I mean, 2 players similar to what was on that Jazz team, like when they had Donovan Mitchell and everyone. But they give me the exact same vibes, where you've got the star shooting guard, Anthony Edwards, and Donovan Mitchell, and then you've got the guy who's supposedly supposed to be your defensive player of the year, who we know for sure will get exposed. And it's not just down to him as well. There's other guys like Cat, he has to step up for sure. But it's just the shock factor. Everyone knows now what to expect from you. We know what you're going to do in the playoffs. We know how to combat you. We know what to attack on that team. And, obviously they still have Naz Reid. They still have Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Jaden McDaniels. They've still got a really good core, but I just don't think you're going to have that same ability to shock everyone and, come up from under the radar and say, oh, okay, these guys are like crazy defense. No, that's not going to happen again. These other teams are on the way. And I still think, yeah, I don't want to say they don't make the. Yeah, I'll say I don't think they'll make it past the first round. Be bold. Be bold.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Onto my team then.
Well, hold on, Jip. One second. Okay, so what are the Timberwolves? Quick one sentence from me. What do the Timberwolves need to do to get back into the conference finals this year?
TRADE, Rudy Gobert.
Okay. Follow-up question real quick. Who wants to take Rudy Gobert?
That's the tough part. That's the tough part because I think there's. Oh, what was that? Sorry.
The Knicks. Like,
No,
let's
the
be
Knicks
real.
are a fast-paced offense, not a slow team.
The thing about the Knicks is if you put him on the Knicks don't actually have to play him. He's just a tool. And that's the beauty of having a team like the Knicks, where you can just use pieces and like plug and play them in different spots. Like they could close. The Knicks could close without Rudy Gobert, but if they had him for certain matchups, that would be a huge bonus.
And we know.
Rudy Gobert,
yeah, we know. Tibbs is like that as well. Tibbs is not about your feelings. Tibbs is about winning, and he's shown that multiple times where he'll make the decision. He's not like with all due respect to him, no flinch. He does flinch when it comes to Gobert because he keeps him on the court for too long sometimes. Tibbs isn't doing that. If you're not helping winning, sit on the bench with me.
Yeah, and if it's not the series for Rudy Gobert, Josh Hart's playing 48 minutes in center. That's the nature of Fibs. That's how he plays the game.
Yeah, and for both, that's probably a good conference for him to go to. But yeah, it's a good follow-up question, man. But trade Rudy, please.
Yeah. But like, not because we want Rudy to be set free. It's just we just want him to be traded. Why do we actually want him to be traded? Do you want the Timberwolves to be good? Do you want Rudy Gobert to go somewhere else and be good? Or do you just want him to retire? Because I think that's what it is. You want him out of the league. You don't want to talk about Rudy Gobert anymore for...
You'd think I was Draymond at this point. I'm not even hating on. I don't hate on Rudy Gobert like Draymond though. Like I don't fly halfway across the world to sit at courtside just to chat to someone like that. You know, that's a different level of hate. That's not where I am.
Okay, that's fair. Speaking of hate, 76ers. This is my team that is just gonna underperform the expectations. And like the one thing I know that most people deep down, they have very low expectations of the 76ers just because they haven't been able to get past the second round. They haven't been able to make it to the conference finals or the finals. But even if they don't make it to the second round this year, or they don't make it past the second round this year, if they go to 6 or 7 games in the second round, I know, even with those low expectations, people are still going to be disappointed in this team. They're still going to want more from Embiid. Paul George he's gone to a new team to win a championship. People are going to still be left wondering, has he ever really had what it takes to win it? Kyle Lowry, he's going to take another step back. Maxey, he's going to be the one golden star that everyone can rave about and be like, oh, this guy's amazing. He's improved again. But again, at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. And no matter what they do, unless they make it to the finals or deep into the conference finals, this is going to be a disappointment. The 76ers are not it.
There is no fan base in the world that deserves to be disappointed. Actually, no, there is one. The Knicks, because the Knicks deserve. I want them to fail forever and ever. I hate New York. Everyone knows that I hate New York with a passion. The next city after that, Philadelphia, the second worst sports fans in the world. We know that.
Nah, the worst. Number one, the worst.
They deserve to fail. And unfortunately, I love Joel Embiid. You know that, the African warrior, Chef Boyardee. But yeah, we know this team, they've got PG. Imagine PG against the Knicks with all those wing defenders. He's going to be in, elimination chamber. You're done for, brother.
Yeah. Done for. Get him out of here. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon that I don't reckon they'll make it out of the first round, and I reckon they might actually be healthy this year for the playoffs.
What? They don't make it out of the first round?
Yeah.
You know, that's low key though. If I'm actually deeping that and thinking about it, so you got the Celtics, they're not beating the Celtics. Then you've got the Knicks. They're not beating the Knicks, I'm sorry, because PG's gonna get locked down. They no, they can't beat the Bucks either.
No. Reframe it. Think about it this way. Let's kind of look at it at a different angle. Are they going to be a top 4 seed? Are they going to be healthy enough during the season to be a top 4 seed? Probably not. The East is pretty deep. If they match up against a healthy Bucks team, the Pacers, an upstart Orlando, the Cleveland Cavaliers, are they a surefire bet to beat that team in a 7-game series in the first round? You reckon?
The only two teams
surefire,
surefire. I think they can beat the Bucks. Surefire.
Damn.
The only two teams I don't think they can beat are the Celtics and the Knicks. That's it. Those are the only two teams I don't think they can beat. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. I'm sick and tired of us calling it the Milwaukee Bucks, okay? It's the Milwaukee Giannis's. Because every time the Bucks lose Giannis in any playoff game, the Bucks lose the series or any game, and they've never won one without him. It's the Milwaukee Giannis's from now on, and that is how we will refer to them. Carry on.
Is someone forgetting how they went to Indiana and won a game there without Giannis? Did that not happen?
Oh, okay. Is that the only one? I bet if you Googled it, I haven't Googled it, this is all hearsay. But if you Googled it, I reckon that's the only one that won without him in the playoff.
Interesting. Wait, like I must have missed the banner they put up for that. When was that ceremony?
Here we go. This is what we like. This man is saying Milwaukee Giannis. I mean, that's not an incorrect statement, but you know, that's the same case with most teams, right? If you don't have your best player, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah, like the Detroit Killian Hayes.
Yeah. The Washington Denny Avdias, because we know, well, Denny's gone now. That's rip. That's an unlucky man.
No, you mean the Virginia pools. It sounds like a local community center where you go learn how to swim.
Oh, Alex. I was gonna say something about Alex, but nah, that's one. I don't want to talk about bad teams today. I feel like we need to talk about the good teams. But Philly fans, man, yeah, they deserve to be disappointed, and they probably are going to be disappointed. Which is unfortunate for them. Fortunate for me. But yeah, unfortunate for them. That's a toughie, bro. So that's your team. So that's our 3 teams all set up. But that kind of sets us up nicely for the next one. NBA player with the most pressure going into the 2024-25 season. You were speaking about the team that he's on just then, Jed. My player is Joel Embiid. I don't think there's any player with more pressure going into this season. I think that's the number one for me, easily. Because Joel Embiid, this is what All-Star are we up to now? You've had Jimmy Butler, you've had Harden, so this is your third guy. This is Paul George now on the way.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, if you want to call him an All-Star. You know, I thought he was a bank robber.
I'm sure he was an All-Star.
It was embarrassing that he was an All-Star. Him and Rudy Gobert being All-Stars and Draymond Green hurts me. But it's Embiid. It's Embiid for me, bro, because, think about this. The guy, he's won an MVP. I know that for sure. We know he's arguably, you'd say he's the top 2 individual scorer in the NBA right now, one of the top 2 scorers. He's been to the playoffs multiple times. Been number 2 in MVP, twice now? He's gone to the playoffs, but at some point in time, you have to win. Obviously, he hasn't been healthy, but we can't blame, everyone else. We can't keep making the excuse of if he was healthy. You have to be healthy at some point in time. This season, if he's healthy and they go into the playoffs and they don't achieve and they underachieve, considering your coach is Nick Nurse, considering you've got Maxey, who we now know is a legit guy, was an All-Star last season, Paul George is a legit guy, you've got Kelly Oubre, Eric Gordon, you've got guys on that roster that are good. If they go there, let's say, for example, and if they do what you said before, Jed, they can't make it past the first round, that legacy is gone. It's damaged, fully damaged for Embiid. If they make it to the second round, then we're in the same boat as we always are. They can't make it past the second round. At minimum, it has to be conference finals for the 76ers and Joel Embiid to sort of get a pass. It'll be a pass, yes, but still would be saying you still haven't made the finals. But it would be a pass to say, well, at least you made it to the conference finals. Anything but the conference finals, failure for the 76ers and failure for Joel Embiid. So I'd say most pressure on him for sure.
100%. Most pressure on him. Let's just hope that pressure doesn't go to his knees because we know how that ends up.
Wow.
But yeah. Anyway, my Was that?
That's hatred, bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is hatred. Yeah, to be fair. Kind of ironic that his coach's name's Nick Nurse. Like, do you reckon he gets confused? Do you reckon he gets confused when he gets injured? They're like, I'll go see the nurse. He's like, what? My coach or the person I spend most of my time with?
nurses. The nurse is ready for you.
Yeah, the nurse is really for you. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of jokes that don't land well, I've got the best shooter in the league as my player that there's the most pressure on this season. I hope no one laughed at that because that wasn't supposed to be funny.
Jarwick.
Jarwick, yeah, Jarwick is my guy, and to be fair, like it amazes me how highly he is regarded throughout the NBA and throughout like in fans' minds and stuff. This man hasn't actually really achieved anything. He makes Damian Lillard's trophy cabinet. I know Damian Lillard has had a much longer career, but he makes Damian Lillard's trophy cabinet look absolutely stacked full of awards. This guy was a great rookie. He's made some All-Stars? Has he made an All-NBA team yet?
No, I don't think. No, top of my head, no, don't think so. Keep going. We shall catch it.
Yeah.
We'll set it up for you, man. We'll get some facts for you.
So he's been suspended more times than he has All-Star games. I haven't fact-checked that. I'm just pretty confident it's true. And I think it's at this point in his career where he actually needs to start ticking things off to get to be worthy of the credit that he's been given. I think he is capable of doing that, but I think he just needs to be healthy. I think he's got his head straight now. I don't think I would be surprised if there was another issue this year. I think when he came back last time, it seemed like he was pretty mature. Like, obviously, he's still young. He's still got a lot of growing to do. But yeah, Ja Morant, I think this year, he actually needs to be a leader for this team. He needs to, if they get into the playoffs, I'm not too fussed on them not making it deep. I think if they get into the playoffs, if they at least have a competitive first round series, I would say that's success for this team. And I would be pretty confident with Ja Morant and where he's heading. But if they fail to do that, or if they get swept in the first round, I'm pretty disappointed, and I'd like to see people drop Ja Morant down their rankings for the best point guard in the league.
Yeah, one time All NBA for Ja Morant.
One time All NBA, two-time All Star.
Yep.
Two-time All Star.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you look at that. It's a lot of pressure as well, because you say coming off the injury. I wouldn't say he's got the most pressure. I'll definitely put him up there and say he's got pressure because obviously there's all that hype. And everyone keeps on saying last season when he came back, oh, yeah, Ja's up there when Ja's fully... I don't know. I'm the same boat as you where I'm like, it seems like there's a lot of hype for a guy who, I don't know. Even when they were fully healthy, he's injured in the first round. They lost to the Jazz that one year. They lost to the Lakers that other year. I'm not seeing it. I just don't see it. I really don't see it with Ja because I compare him to an Anthony Edwards, for example. I'm like, I would take Anthony Edwards, to be fair, over Ja Morant. Then obviously Steph Curry, Luka. There's all these other names.
So then, to maybe go back to the point, should we clarify and say maybe he's not the person with the most pressure on them, but he is the person in the NBA. He's the player in the NBA that needs a good season more than anyone else. He needs a good season. Yeah, way more than Joel Embiid, way more than Giannis, way more than Jokic. I feel like those guys, at least they've got stuff to their name. It's more about how do we fill out the resume. Ja, he's got the credit, he's got the accreditation, mentally and through what people are saying and what people see on the court, but he doesn't have the accolades to go along with it, and he's a long way off getting them.
Because we need to see it. It's we need to be proven because I know he's proven it to us in spurts. It's just he gets injured again. I say injuries are not on you, but if they do happen, we have to judge you based on what we have. The only thing we can use to judge you is your resume. When you're available, what you're doing. If you're available 70% of the time, I have to judge you off that 70% of the time, which is harsh, but that's all. That's how it has to be. You look at him, and it's in the playoffs. Yes, you've had some good performances, but you haven't really gone far. Same thing. So I'd say he needs a massive season, a big season where it's sort of y'all must have forgot. If he does it, y'all must have forgot. Comes out, averages 27, 8, and 4. Okay, we're all going to be sitting here and say, okay, yeah, we were wrong. Okay, cool. But if not, if it's a season where he plays 50 games and he has the same stats still, I'll sort of be like, you didn't really do much for us, man. But now we rock and roll into some comments that Swaggy P, the fake Swaggy P, because I'm the real Swaggy P, the fake Swaggy P, Nick Young, he made earlier this week, which was, has Kyrie Irving had a better career than overall career than Russell Westbrook? He was a little bit more adamant, he and his fans were too, because 51% of the people on that poll said that Kyrie has had a better career than Russell Westbrook. So let's bring it to Dunk Dynasty Podcast. Us three, let's talk about this. Who has had the better career? Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook.
Firstly, I don't understand why this is a conversation. Russell Westbrook has had a way better career than Kyrie Irving. Okay, cool. Kyrie Irving can dribble a ball. Wicked. Russell Westbrook, MVP, triple doubles leader, all stars over Kyrie. Okay, he hasn't won a chip, but is that really everything? What's Kyrie actually done other than win a chip with LeBron? He's been on Boston, they suck. He's been on Brooklyn, they suck. Was he not on Dallas? Dallas was going good, but who's the best player on Dallas? It's Luka. He's only a second fiddle. Kyrie he might be a Hall of Famer when he's actually done, but he's never going to be considered to the top 5, top 10 point guards of all time. Russell Westbrook will be, and he will be remembered in history, and Kyrie Irving will not.
Yeah, I reckon the crazy thing about this, if you want to take a real unbiased look and go, okay, let's weight it towards the championships and stuff, and let's give Kyrie a good, Kyrie's one of the most skillful players of all time. And if you want to weight it towards that, you go, yep, he's got the championship. Westbrook doesn't. He's had good runs. Westbrook probably hasn't had as good a playoff runs. But then you really break it down and you look at it. Well, Westbrook was drafted 3 years earlier, but he's played almost double the amount of games, like 1,200 to 700. And in those games, Westbrook has accomplished a lot. Three times assist leader, 2 times scoring champ, 9 times All NBA to Kyrie's 3, 2 times All-Star MVP to Kyrie's 1. That one's not really an amazing award. An MVP, the whole body of it for Westbrook, I think it just far and away exceeds what Kyrie's been able to do, even if you put a heavy weighting on that championship. Yeah, Westbrook's played with a lot of talent and he probably hasn't got to that final level where he probably should have. But then again, Kyrie has been on a lot of teams and a lot of super teams where he hasn't got the results that he should have. It's a real weird, but I just don't think you can sit there in good faith and say Kyrie has had a better career. Kyrie is definitely a far and away more skillful player, but a better career, that's just ludicrous. That is just wild to say. Even if you do the heaviest possible weighting to that side, Westbrook has had so many accolades. He's been so consistent as far as consistency in terms of what he's been able to do for a season and his longevity and how healthy he's been able to be. And the bad rap he's got, he's actually been a good team player to most of these teams. No players really come out that have played with Westbrook to talk bad against him. Players often come out to the defense of him, even if Westbrook's not playing with them anymore. So, yeah, I rest my case on that one, really.
I don't think at any point in time in his career have we ever said Kyrie Irving is the best point guard in the NBA. Never. That's never been the case. That's never happened. I'm sorry. No one, go back and look back. No one's ever said at any point in time Kyrie Irving's the best point guard in the NBA. Never. Russell Westbrook, we were having those conversations about him 2014, 2015, and then 2016 is when Steph Curry pulled away from everyone, in my opinion. That's when he pulled away. But in that probably 2013, 14, 15, even 2012 stretch, he was right there. It was him, Chris Paul, and then who was the other guy? And that's when we had Steph Curry sort of coming up. But you could genuinely have made an argument that that Russell Westbrook was number one. Then you factor in the assist titles. Then you factor in scoring champion. Then you factor in the triple-double season. Then you factor in the MVP. Just accolades, just individual player alone. Better career, Westbrook, and it's not even close. It's really not close. Because the championship, cool, bro. You got the championship. That's all well and good. But outside of that championship year, what happened? You left LeBron because you wanted to have your own team in Boston. What happened? They went to the conference finals while you were hurt. When you came back the following year, what happened? You were out in the second round. So in the playoffs, you underachieved your whole career, except when you went with LeBron as the second fiddle to LeBron, and then obviously this year, second fiddle to Luka. I'm not going to absolve Russell Westbrook. He's also underachieved in the playoffs too. But if we're just looking at everything else that he's done, the assist titles, the scoring titles, all stars. He's got All-Star Game MVPs too. All NBA first team twice. Kyrie hasn't even touched All NBA first team. 75th and All NBA the anniversary 75th anniversary team. Russell Westbrook's on that. Kyrie is not, because they know one championship does not freaking just override everything. If they were tit for tat with accolades, and then you had Kyrie with the championship, yeah, cool, Kyrie, you're better. You're better, and you've had a better career. But no, we're not gonna overlook everything and say just because you've got one championship, you're better than a guy who's got more MVPs than you and more everything else than you.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's two weird players to compare, because Kyrie is one of the most skilled players of all time, whereas Westbrook, his like play style is very raw. And if you were like, what is Westbrook really, really, really great at? And if you looked at every single part of him, he wouldn't be like top 10 in most categories. He doesn't register all-time greatness in any category apart from athleticism. He's like probably the least skilled great player of all time. With what he had, with his skill, what he was able to accomplish is just absolutely ridiculous. You might think I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, but think about it. Westbrook, not a great shooter. He's a good passer, but he's not an all-time great passer. He was a solid defender coming into the NBA. He can finish around the rim, but he was never like one of the greats finishing around the rim. You know, he could dunk well, but it's not like he was bodying people up every day. You know, like what compared to Kyrie's got like the all-time great handles. So it becomes a weird conversation in terms of that. But with what Westbrook was able to achieve with the skill set that he had is like mind-boggling. It's crazy.
If Kyrie didn't win that championship with LeBron, he would literally just be the Odell Beckham Jr. of the NBA, where his career would be just made off like one good season here and there. Like, no. Outside of that one, like the championship, if you take away, let's just say, for example, let's take away that 2016 championship. What are we sitting here with? Rookie of the Year, one All-NBA first team. That's what we're sitting here with to say that it's better than Westbrook. Okay, now let's bring the championship back in. Rookie of the Year, championship. Do you have an MVP? No. All-NBA first team? No. Were you ever thought of as the number one point guard in the league? No. Were you even in conversations to be the best player in the league? No. You're the most skilled. I can put you up there for sure and say you could be top 2, top 3 most skilled. But just because you're more skilled than someone does not mean you have had a better career than other people. Case in point, Giannis, Anthony Davis. Who was more skilled? Anthony Davis. Who has had a better career? Giannis. We can keep going down the line back in history. It's just over and over and over and over and over again.
I still think, like, we've obviously all agreed that Westbrook's had a way better career than Irving. But to have that in a conversation, I think everyone's comparing Russell Westbrook of the last couple of years rather than his career. But I think if we genuinely have a look at Westbrook's career and him compared to other point guards of all time, like, he is comfortably top 10. And there's even conversations that we've had that, and other people would have had for sure, that is he top 5? Like, his career, and he hasn't won a chip, which is obviously holding him back. If he'd won a chip, then obviously he'd be higher up on the list as well. But as you say, that shouldn't have as much weight towards it. He's had such an amazing career. He's even the longevity. Like, okay, his athleticism's died. Oh well, it hasn't died, but he's no longer the player he was. But he still does miraculous things on the court. Last year with the Clippers, this year with Denver, let's see how he goes. I'm sure he'll do still wicked things, But yeah, as Jed said, with what he had and what he was working with, which he's more built like a running back. He's you can't take that away from him.
He's built like a wide receiver, not a running back.
No, he's not. He's built like a running back.
No, he's not. He's built like a wide receiver, but he plays like a running back.
Yeah. You're making him out like he's like a
Marshawn Lynch.
Felton.
He's got the Raymond Felton body, bro. We all know.
No, okay,
Russell Westbrook. Are we talking about the same Russell Westbrook? What? Russell Westbrook is built like Mike Evans, bro. He's like 6'4", 6'5", slender build, bro.
He gives off that vibe, the way he plays. He just gives off that vibe that he's just straight up just.
Yeah, like I think if you have to reflect on Russell Westbrook's career, in one play. It'd be that game. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I think the Thunder were up by 2 against the Rockets, and there was about 6 seconds left. And instead of just taking the foul and like shooting free throws to win the game, he just goes and does a left-handed dunk on Clint Capella. Just like he's the most unnecessary player of all time. But like I think he's just so relentless.
Well, him and Giannis, that's why I say it. Like they're just carbon copies of each other. Where every game they play like it's their last. They play so hard, and that's probably what allows you in some games where other guys are just coasting, chilling. You can sort of still have crazy games all the time because you're just playing hard. Evident by the 2 All-Star Game MVPs when everyone just chills. Westbrook in 2015, 2016 was saying, "Nah, dog, I'm gonna go ham because that's what I do."
And the crazy thing about that those kind of players are the players that suffer the most in the playoffs because they've been drained all season long. They've been playing all out, and all these players that are coasting and they can kind of time their peaks. It's like, it's not that they should rest during the season, but there is an expense to what they are trying to do.
Yeah, so it's almost it's a balancing act. And Russell Westbrook, I mean, that 9-year stretch, 2011 to 2020. I mean, in my opinion, there's only one point guard who I put in front of him during the entire stretch. That's Steph Curry. I'm not putting Chris Paul above Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. Like, why am I going to put Chris Paul above? I mean, I think James Harden's still a 2. I think James Harden. I think in these last 4 years, he's become more of a 1. But in the 2010s era, I think Westbrook was I'm sorry. Harden was a 2 guard, and then now he's transitioned to 1.
The greatest era for guards that there has ever been was that run there.
You're about to get us roasted now, because now I know Magic Johnson listens to the show, so we know he's about to come at us now for disrespecting the era.
It's not even questionable. There's been genuinely 3 point guards in the 2010s era that are top 10 point guards of all time.
Yeah. And in the 80s, we had who? Magic Johnson.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Isaiah Thomas received...
Oh, John Stockton's more of the 90s, but...
More the 90s, though, right?
Isaiah Thomas received, like, 1 MVP vote in his whole career.
Who?
Like, he was really good, but the era that I'm talking about with the best, like, guard era... Those players were MVPs. Those players were not just really good guards. They were the best players in the whole NBA.
Who?
That's what the guards that we had, like Chris Paul, Steph Curry
and Westbrook. Steph Curry and Westbrook.
Yeah, but I'm just
for sure. I know, for sure, them two. Oh, I see what you're saying.
James, you got James Harden, and you got like the edges with like Chris Paul, who are all-time greats. But I'm saying they were not just the best guards at the time; they were the best players in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just letting my hate for Chris Paul override everything.
Yeah, I don't like Chris Paul. That hurt to say. Yeah. I can't take that back.
Yeah, okay. Actually, you may not like Chris Paul, but from like 2008 to like 2014, 2015, he was one of the best players in the game.
He was so good that he made he made the same amount of conference finals as I did, and I don't play in the NBA. That's how good he was.
Okay. It's more or less Blake Griffin's fault, but I like Blake Griffin more. And Doc Rivers, and potentially Donald Sterling. But
whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Being a Donald Sterling fan, that's up there with being a P. Diddy fan. That's crazy.
I separate the art from the artist.
Ain't no Donald Sterling fan, man. Come on now.
Oh, the only Sterling I love is that Euro one. Is that the Euro still the dollar amount? That's the only one I like. But bro, I mean, this was a crazy era for point guards, but still, yeah. This discussion, as it relates to this discussion here, please stop it, guys. Anyone who thinks that Kyrie has had a better career than Westbrook, please, I urge you, go to your nearest hospital. I think it's free. I don't think you have to pay. And if you have to pay, it's not that expensive. But
if you're listening in America, sorry about that.
Healthcare. If you're listening in New Zealand, go to your local TUI medical or whatever GP that you have, and I'm sure they can safely conduct a drug test for you. And if you're in America, well, we don't have a sponsor yet, so we can't afford to give you the money for it. But yeah, there you go. Yeah. Go get drug tested if you think that Kyrie had a better career than Westbrook. We'll put it to the fans anyway. We'll put it up on Instagram and let the fans vote. You guys let us know who has had the better career, Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook. That will be up tomorrow on Instagram. But let us transition to our last topic of the night, the women. WNBA. It's finally getting attention. Excuse me. And it's getting attention because, well, Caitlin Clark, she has just absolutely, been on an absolute tear. And it's crazy to think that, 1 week ago, they had Angel Reese #1 on the rookie rankings and Caitlin Clark #2, because this last week, Caitlin Clark has said, please, Felicia, bye, Felicia. This rookie race is over and taking it over. But listen, I probably just burst the bubble there. Who do you think is the WNBA Rookie of the Year? That's where we'll put it first.
Okay, firstly, I hate the fact that this is a conversation. Again, this feels like, as in the NBA, Chet v. Wemby, that, okay, cool, Angel Reese is good. Is she, though? She's good, but Caitlin Clark is by a landslide, and it shouldn't even be a question. And the fact that it's a debate, I mean, we could whack out all the stats, all the accolades, and it makes it even worse for Angel Reese. Come
on. This is a conversation that keeps Ethan up at night. He's
It does.
He's really concerned.
It's not because I'm stalking Caitlin Clark's Instagram page or anything, but it does.
Wow.
Damn. To be fair though, Ethan does have a chance. Caitlin Clark hits threes all the time.
Wow.
Oh wow.
But she's wifed up. She's husband up. Sorry, she got a boy. She got a boy up in there. So GG's, man.
Oh damn.
Oh, well, that sucks. But hey, for example, I was scrolling Instagram today, and I saw a quote that said, "I can't believe that Caitlin Clark is getting so much ahead of Angel Reese in this Rookie of the Year race when she averages 5 more points on worse shooting," or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. So Caitlin Clark averages 19 points. Angel Reese averages 13. Caitlin Clark takes 1 more shot than Angel Reese, has a better shooting percentage, better three-point percentage, has better free throws, averages more assists, more steals. Okay, doesn't average as much rebounds, but what is even the question? She averages 5 more points on 1 more shot. Bro.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to she has influence winning to an extraordinary amount, considering where that team started at the start of the year. This is their first. It's not like they were an average team that's gotten better this year. They haven't won more than half their games since 2016. I believe, is that right? 2016. Someone can fact check
like
that.
Yeah, it's been
for
6
a
years.
while,
I think,
they haven't even
500.
They haven't even won half their games. And you think about where they started at the start of the season, where they 1-8.
1-8. Mm.
Their turnaround has been wild, and it's fair enough that it's getting the attention that it is. Caitlin Clark, triple-double today, Women's NBA Player of the Month, first rookie to ever be the Women's NBA Player of the Month. You know what? I think that's a really interesting stat, though. Surely the first year when everyone was a rookie got Player of the Month. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. One thing that should be noted, though, how all these rookies are breaking all these single-season records at the moment. It is a longer season now, so I wouldn't get caught up too much on that. But the fact that these are the players that are doing it, it's wild, and it should be supported. The Women's NBA is going in the right direction.
Well, for me, Angel Reese is the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Is what I would say if I didn't know anything about basketball.
I was about to come here with the screen and punch you, G.
Absolutely not. This is runaway train. This is Usain Bolt in the 100 meters, 9.58. See you later. It ain't close. Tyson Gay, look at my reviews. You're not there. I'm away. Caitlin Clark is away. See you later. It ain't close. It's not close. And the guy who put Angel Reese first last week. Come on, bro. Listen, we love the double doubles. I've been complimentary. All the discussions I've had with different people talking about it, I've been, bro, it's insane. Putting up the double doubles is crazy. That's unreal. But come on, bro. The Fever started off 1-8, and now they're 16-8 ever since. And it's because, well, they've got it's a team effort. We know that, but also it's been driven by Caitlin Clark. She's been insane. team, I still want to make sure, give credit to these other players. They're playing well in that team. They've still got Aaliyah Boston, great player. But if we're just comparing Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark alone, it is really, come on, bro. We're comparing it's like comparing LeBron to Andre Drummond. No, come on, bro. Andre Drummond, double machine, but
more like Steph Curry to Andre Drummond.
Yeah, that's probably the better comparison. That's the much better one. So yeah, you can't say Angel Reese above, because plus as a team, the sky are falling. Sky falls. There you go. That's a nice one. Speaking of jokes that don't land. But yeah, the FIFA are popping. Caitlin Clark is popping. That's my rookie of the year. Go argue with the wall.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Also, I saw an interesting fact that apparently Caitlin Clark averages on her threes, her distance is 28 feet or something, and Steph Curry's is 27 feet. Bro, that's insane as well. She just doesn't like shooting from her line, man. She goes all the way back there and just pulls up from half court almost, bro. Chick's got unlimited range.
Did you see the other day back-to-back threes in the clutch to really like set them up to win the game? It's entertaining basketball at the end of the day as well.
And she's got no care. She just pulls the trigger and just goes, hell yeah. And it just goes in. I love it.
But yeah, my favorite part is this record breaking. I mean, obviously, listen, as much as we're saying Caitlin Clark is runaway rookie, I mean, her and Angel Reese are breaking records like crazy. I mean, Angel Reese had the double-double streak. Caitlin Clark, the most triple-doubles by rookie. I mean, I know it's only 2, but still, it's the most. And I think she's on track to get the most assists ever in a season as well. So that just shows you, bro, like these 2 rookies are taking over the league. So as much as it's a runaway train for rookie of the year, as a whole, I think is probably the best thing possible is that you've got these 2 rookies who had the storyline of back-to-back years, their last 2 years in college. They went up against each other for the national championship and then the national championship semi-final. And then now they've come to the NBA. They've translated. They've been able to keep their fan bases, grow their fan bases. And just by doing that, bringing their fan base from college grows the league. And now they've got, I feel like it's one of those instances where we're forcing a rivalry. We are forcing it because we have to sort of make it so that, people are really engaged. People will be engaged even if we know that Caitlin Clark's better, which I think 95% of us do. The other 5%, we're still waiting for them to be checked out of their institutes. But the other 95% of us, we know who the better player is. And it's okay. It's okay, guys. You can be an Angel Reese fan and still acknowledge that Caitlin Clark is better. I'm a LeBron fan. I don't acknowledge that the bald guy's better, but I understand people's perspective on that. Same thing. Angel Reese is not better than Caitlin Clark.
It's very much similar to the whole Trae Young, Luka Doncic kind of thing, where it's like everyone knows Luka is by far and away the best player, but there'll be Hawks fans being like, nah, we 100% made the right trade and we'd make it again. Knowing full well Kobe Buffkin's going to be their best player in 3 years. But that's that's beside the point.
It's okay to admit you're wrong. And I'm wrong too, bro. I thought that this was... I never thought it was a debate. I knew who was always the better player. But there was points in time where I was like, oh man, Angel Reese could get it. And then, whoop, up and away, Caitlin Clark is gone. And it's probably going to stay like that for a long time.
Another thing is that we do have to acknowledge as well is that we watch it now. We never watched it. I've never watched WNBA until this year. And I'm not watching it for Angel Reese. I'm watching it for Caitlin Clark because, bro, she's so entertaining to watch. Like, she plays high speed, threes from wherever she wants to pull them from. Her team is good. That Boston chick also gangster. They just go well, and it's fun to watch. Whereas I'm not watching Angel Reese, bro, because she can't even hit a shot. Under the rim, misses 6 times, gets 6 rebounds. Bro. I mean, come on. I had enough of that type of stuff. I mean, I could do that.
Hey man, stat padders are us.
Leave Ponytail Zion out of this.
Wow, Ponytail Drummond. That could be one. We can trademark that, Ponytail Drummond.
Yeah. Ratchet Rodman.
Wow. Oh, that's a good one. I actually do like that. Oh my god. What I will say though is, listen, if you've never watched WNBA, like if you're not really haven't been a fan since this year, go out there, do yourself a favor, go watch Elena Delle Donne's highlights. Listen, if you do like women's basketball, just go watch Elena Delle Donne because oh my god, she's good.
And the funny part, the best part about watching Elena Delle Donne play is seeing a Washington team win a game. It's crazy. It'll blow your mind.
Man. She's so good. She was my favorite player, man. I used to love watching college basketball because of her women's college basketball. Made me a lot of money, she did. Especially when she won MVP. That was unreal. Preseason bet. Loved that. Great times. Great times, man. But guys, I mean, that's episode right there wrapped up. It's been a long time since we were last on, and that was it just then, man. How do you guys feel?
Well, I actually can't wait to not look at Jed for another week or so. Which would be really lovely, actually.
Bro.
Wait, why wouldn't you look at me?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Speaking of jokes that didn't land.
Oh, you guys, we are on fire.
Wow, we are honking today. We've had some pretty shocking ones, but that's okay, bro.
Yeah.
It's rust. It's rust.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah,
we'll be back next time. We'll be back next time for episode 53, man. That's all the fans want to hear about. Episode 53 is on its way. Maybe we'll go out there, get some questions from everyone, the fans. Let you guys sort of ask us questions like you did. I think, it's 26 episodes ago. So maybe we bring that back too. But make sure, again, as I said, if you are new, make sure you subscribe to us, whether you're listening to on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and make sure you go and follow us on social media. We're trying to get to 300 followers on TikTok, 1,000 followers on Instagram, and Facebook is popping, so make sure you go there too, and subscribe to us on YouTube if you like to watch the podcast instead. And also, go check us out on Sporkle. We got a bunch of quizzes on there that you can test your NBA knowledge against your friends. Complete our quizzes and make sure you share that with your family, your friends, your colleagues, just like you should share this podcast too with your family, your friends, your colleagues. Share it everywhere. Keep the army growing. And thank you again for the support. We shall catch you guys on the next one. Dunk Dynasty Podcast signing out. Outro music. Do your thing.